Hello and greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is my Redux/redo version of my walkthrough and review of the D&D module, The Forge of Fury. When compared to my previous version, I tried to improve the audio as much as possible, and I will be deleting the old version of the video.
Meanwhile, in the ruins of a subterranean dwarven stronghold called Duergar.
Henri, are you okay? It must not be easy walking around the ruins of your ancestors' home.
Emily, thanks for your concern. Although Duergar's clan was not my clan, I still feel rage at what the orcs have done.
Henri, do not worry. We will soon clear out all the stinking orcs remaining in Duergar and avenge your fallen fellow dwarves.
Ralf, I agree, but we must proceed with caution and stealth. That last room we were in was full of traps, and we almost lost our lives.
Ophelia, given that you are a rogue, you are always telling us to be stealthy. But, I am a fighter, and I am wearing noisy metal armor. Thus, I prefer to face my enemies head-on.
Ralf, Ophelia does have a point, and we must proceed with caution. As a dwarf, I can with certainty state that dwarves build their strongholds full of traps. Even when in ruins, many of them will probably still be functioning.
Okay, time for me to take out my 10-foot pole.
Hello and greetings, lovely person. This is RPGmodsFan, and in this video, I will be reviewing and discussing the Dungeons & Dragons adventure, The Forge of Fury, which was written by Richard Baker and published by Wizards of the Coast in 2000. The adventure was meant for player characters starting at 3rd level. The Forge of Fury was the second adventure module published by Wizards of the Coast for the 3rd edition of Dungeons & Dragons. Hence, I like to give it the unofficial mod code of WOTC 2. The Forge of Fury was updated for D&D 5th edition rules in the Tales from the Yawning Portal adventure book. The Forge of Fury was meant as a sequel to the Wizards of the Coast's previous adventure, The Sunless Citadel, which was also included in the Tales from the Yawning Portal adventure book. I have also done a video walkthrough of this adventure, which is already posted on my YouTube channel. Shameless plug, so please check it out. The Forge of Fury adventure is not set in any specific campaign setting, and is meant to be run in any number of settings. However, Tales from the Yawning Portal does provide some suggested locations for the adventure. For Faerun, aka the Forgotten Realms campaign setting, Tales from the Yawning Portal suggests a location northwest of Myrabar in the Spine of the World. Personally, I think this is too far north, and I would place it more south, such as between the Crags Mountains and Neverwinter Wood. This also places the adventure next to the suggested location of the previous adventure, the Sunless Citadel, making for an easier transition between the two adventures. In addition, this location makes more sense since there is supposed to be a dense forest between the town of Blassingdale, where the player characters start from, and Stonetooth Mountain, where Duergar is supposedly located. For the Greyhawk campaign setting, Tales from the Yawning Portal suggests a location within the Orcish kingdom of Pormage. More specifically, it suggests to place the adventure on the western side of the Drakan's Grab Hills. For the Dragonlance campaign setting on the world of crime, Tales from the Yawning Portal suggests any location along the Carolus Mountains. For the Eberron campaign setting, Tales from the Yawning Portal suggests the western side of the Moor Holds as the location of the adventure. The adventure starts in Blassingdale, a small mining town situated 30 miles south of the mountain known as the Stone Tooth. As background lore, the player characters would know the following.
2 centuries ago, Duergar, a famed dwarven blacksmith of legend, and his clan were driven from their home by a horde of fierce orcs and trolls. Fleeing the horde, Duergar eventually led the remnants of his destitute clan to the mountains north of the town of Blassingdale. There, Duergar and his followers established the secret underground stronghold of Duergar. It is said that he and his clan labored ceaselessly to forge enchanted weapons. From his hidden fortress, he waged a decades-long vendetta against the orc kind. About 100 years ago, his enemies discovered the location of his stronghold and laid siege to it, and were eventually able to storm Duergar and kill the dwarves within.
The adventure offers 3 starting adventure hooks. One is that the player characters found a map showing the location of Duergar from one of their previous adventures. The second possible adventure hook is that Baron Althon, a local noble, hires the adventurers to search for the legendary cache of weapons forged by Duergar, and he directs them to Stone Tooth Hill. By the way, sometimes the adventure refers to Stone Tooth as a mountain or as a hill. Anyway, displayed is the Tales from the Yawning Portal version of this adventure hook. In the original version, it states that Baron Althon will offer 500 gold pieces above market value for each blade of Duergar's the party brings back to him. Bringing back information and maps, I think, was a good addition on the Tales from the Yawning Portal's part. The third possible adventure hook is as follows. The townsfolk of Blassingdale have had enough of the orc raids in its outskirts, and have hired the player characters to eradicate the raiders. Recently, an orc raider was captured, and it revealed that their base of operations is within Stone Tooth. Stone Tooth is a rugged, very tall, steep hill crowned by a bare, rocky crag that lies 30 miles or 48 kilometers north of Blassingdale. From the bottom of the hill, its top is over 1,450 feet or 442 meters above. The forest ends 1,000 feet or 305 meters up the hill. The player characters are able to see a path or trail that winds up the hillside to some unseen heights above. They are also able to see a thin spire of smoke that rises from some point high on the hill's slopes. So, fellow players, what is your next move? The Forge of Fury was the second adventure in a series of 8 adventures. I would like to label these with the unofficial mod codes of WOTC 1 to 8. Displayed on the screen are the adventures in this series. As FYI, each was designed to be able to be used as a standalone adventure. I will now be discussing the adventure itself, and this video will contain spoilers. Unless you are a dungeon master who will be running this adventure for their players, or are a player who already played through this adventure and are watching this video for nostalgia purposes, I would suggest not to watch the rest of this video. The Contracar complex within Stonetooth consists of 5 different levels. The Mountain Door. The entrance to the glitterheim, called the Mountain Door, is the uppermost level of the cavern complex. It is inhabited by a tribe of fierce orcs. The glitterheim. The largest level of Contracar is the glitterheim. Troglodytes and cave-dwelling monsters infest this region. From here, the characters can ascend to the foundry or climb down into the Sinkhole. The Sinkhole streams in the glitterheim descend into an underground river, which includes this forgotten corner of the caverns. The foundry. Beyond the glitterheim lies a complex of chambers and passageways carved by Durjadin's folk. A small band of Duergar, also known as Grey Dwarves, currently hold Durjadin's Hall. They are working to uncover the secret of the smith's ancient forge. A great crevasse leads down to the Black Lake. The Black Lake. The most dangerous denizen of the caverns lairs in the cold, still waters of the Black Lake. Nightscale, a young black dragon. There are 4 possible entrances into Contracar. If the player characters traverse the trail that winds up the hillside, they will end up by the Mountain Door entrance. Another possible entrance is going down the chimney where the thin spire of smoke is coming from. The smoke is coming from a crude kitchen of the Orc tribe, which is chamber number 7, located on the Mountain Door level of Contracar. If the player characters search around Stonetooth Hill, they will discover an Orc tunnel. When the Orcs laid siege to Contracar, they dug this tunnel. The tunnel leads to chamber number 21, located on the Glitterheim level. The last entrance is hidden and unlikely to be found by the player characters. The eastern slopes of the Stonetooth descend into a damp valley. There is an unusually large tarn here, along with several other smaller mountain lakes, the largest of which is known as the Dark Mere. Under its waters is a natural siphon that connects the Dark Mere to the Black Lake within Stonetooth. The dragon Nightscale uses this drainage channel to enter and exit her lair. At the Mountain Door level of Contracar, the caverns and chambers are now occupied by orcs, led by a brutal Orgra king, who names himself the Great Oldfey. Standing guard at the bare shoulder of rock where the trail ends are a pair of orcs. A pair of stone doors mark the entrance to the former dwarven stronghold. Arrow slits flank the entranceway from both sides. Whether or not these arrow slits are attended depends on how quietly the player characters dealt with the 2 orc guards. Beyond these stone doors is a death trap. When the player characters enter, they will be standing on a narrow ledge overlooking a deep, dark crevasse that cuts the room into 2. A rickety, dangerous rope bridge spans the crevasse's gap. If precautions are not taken, such as roping themselves together, traversing the rope bridge will require 2 balance checks. The second check is only needed if the first one fails. Failing the second check means the character falls. On the opposite side of the crevasse, and hiding behind 2 rock pillars, are 2 orc guards. They will concentrate their bow fire on those who are crossing the rope bridge. If a character gets more than halfway across, one orc breaks cover, runs up to the rope bridge, and will start using its battle axe to sever it. By the way, in the original adventure, they are armed with axes and longbows. In the Tales from the Yawning Portal version, they are armed with axes and javelins. Chamber number 6 is where the orcs lock up their prisoners. Currently, there are 2 non-combatant prisoners in here. As the player characters progress through the adventure, there is a band of orcs outside on patrol. If any player characters are killed, the adventure suggests to have replacement characters located and locked up in the prison. These prisoners were brought in by the returning orc patrol. Chamber number 9 is the quarters of the orc's shaman. Her name is Duergar, and she is a 3rd level cleric. With her, she has 2 female orc assistants. As FYI, Tales from the Yawning Portal does not provide stats to too many of the monsters, including the named ones, such as Duergar in this adventure. I guess Tales from the Yawning Portal leaves it up to the Dungeon Master to detail them out, or perhaps the writers got lazy. Chamber number 12 is where the orc leader, an ogre named Great Ulfe, lairs. By his sides are 2 pet wolves. In the Tales from the Yawning Portal version, Ulfe has 2 pet dire wolves instead. One final note about the orc tribe before I move on. The adventure does not add orc non-combatants to it. Was Wizards of the Coast trying to avoid controversy by not including them? In total, there are 4 Duergar forged weapons that can be found throughout the Duergar complex. The first one that can be found is a masterwork hand axe that is carried and wielded by Old Yarrick, a 3rd level orc warrior. Old Yarrick and 4 orc fighters can be encountered in bunk room number 14. The entrance down to the glitterheim is via a broken stone staircase in the middle of chamber number 10. Also in the chamber are 4 sturges. By the door to the north are 2 burnt skeletons. Given this obvious warning, players are still likely to be curious about what lies beyond the door. Opening the door triggers the alchemist fire trap. In the original version, the trap deals 4d6 fire damage. In the Tales from the Yawning Portal version, the trap deals 4d4 fire damage. As the player characters descend down to the glitterheim level of Duergar, more sturges can be encountered at areas numbered 15, 15A, and 16. Troglodytes occupy cavern numbers 17 to 20 and 21. Their chieftain, named Kargaz, is in chamber number 19. Kargaz is a troglodyte 3rd level mage, and has a pet giant lizard. Cavern number 18B is the troglodyte clan's hatchery. The Trog's secret weapon is a captured and chained giant subterranean lizard. In both versions of the adventure, the subterranean lizard is treated as a new monster, and its stats and characteristics are detailed out in both. As mentioned before, the northwest tunnel of cavern number 21 is the tunnel the orcs dug during their siege of Duergar. Penned up in cavern number 21A is a brown bear. Using their camouflage ability, 2 troglodytes are hiding in cavern number 21. When intruders enter, one of the trogs will go and release the bear to aid in the upcoming battle. The second Duergar forged weapon that can be found is in a fungus and mold-covered cavern, labeled number 22 on the displayed map. A skeleton covered in yellow mold has Duergar forged +1 bastard sword. The third Duergar forged weapon that can be found is a masterwork warhammer. It can be found in the stone tomb of Garin, which is located within the Dwarven sepulchres. The fourth and last Duergar weapon is in the Black Dragon's possession. Area number 24 was known as the Glitterheim, and was the former home of Duergar's clan. It is now covered in harmless and even edible fungi. The only danger here are two gricks on a high ledge. They nest in cavern number 26. Personally, as a DM, I would add an additional danger of two cave fishers waiting for prey at the southern ledge of this cavern. The Sinkhole and the foundry levels can be reached from the Glitterheim level. At the far end of cavern number 25 is a water-rushing sinkhole and a staircase. Both descend to the sinkhole level of Kontrukar. Entrance to Duergar's halls and forges, also known as the foundry, lies behind a locked, sturdy iron door at area number 27. The stone staircase is definitely a safer way to access the sinkhole level of the dungeon. Rooms number 30 are the old storerooms of the dwarves. The rooms now contain rotten foodstuff, barrels of salted meat gone bad, sacks of moldy grain, and tons of what once was ale now reeks of vinegar. If the player characters insist on searching the rooms, they will disturb a gray ooze. Ooze. They will disturb a gray ooze. Due to the sounds of rushing water, and that the roper is currently distracted and concentrating on fishing, the player characters have a good chance of avoiding it and getting past it. A roper is too powerful of a foe for 3rd and 4th level characters. However, if the player characters insist on fighting it, then as a dungeon master, be merciless. By placing this monster here, the adventure is trying to teach the players an important lesson, which is sometimes you need to avoid encounters you cannot win. I would extend that to the Black Dragon as well, but I will discuss more about that when I get to the Black Lake level. For those who expressed not wanting to combat the roper, and perhaps maybe those who stayed quiet at the gaming table, as a dungeon master, I would award the ropers full XP to them. If there was a TPK, I would say those who did not want to combat the roper, regain consciousness, are at 1 HP, and have the chance to escape while the roper is distracted because it is busy eating their comrades who wanted and initiated the fight. The foundry does not have ready access to the surface world. Hence, the trogs and the surface-raiding orcs did not make a home here. Quite some time later, Duergar, or Grey Dwarves, came here and fired up the forges. They are attempting to uncover Duergar's forging secrets. Beyond the iron door and up the stairs from the Glitterheim level is the Chamber of Statues. The northwest and northeast doors are false doors and are trapped. Opening either door will cause the axes wielded by the dwarven statues to swing down. A secret door leads to chamber number 36. The 13th stair on the hidden stairway will trigger a Intruder Alert magic mouth spell alerting the Duergar. Chamber number 36 was Duergar's throne room and banquet hall. Standing guard here are 2 crossbow-wielding 2nd level Duergar warriors. Their leader is Garat, a female 3rd level Duergar rogue. If alerted by the Magic Mouth spell, they will be invisible and enlarged, and will shout a warning to entering intruders. Although a challenge, the player characters do have a chance to parley with them. The leader of the Duergars is a 5th level fighter named Nimira. She is currently resting in her quarters. The Duergar avoid the northern rooms of the foundry because of an Alep that haunts them, as well as other undead creatures. The Alep was once the head clerk of the Durjadin clan, named Arundel. In the Tales from the Yawning Portal version, instead of being an Alep, Arundel is now a ghost. Arundel has not only animated some undead creatures, but also some objects as well. Chamber number 49 was once a library. A slender, medium-height, long, dark-haired woman sits by a table. The woman is Adela, and she is a succubus, who is currently shape-changed to human form. In the original version, she was summoned here by a now long-dead wizard of an adventuring party. In the Tales from the Yawning Portal version, she was summoned here by Arundel. Due to her demonic nature, she is prone to lying. When the player characters enter, she tells them that she is a captive of a wizard who resides below this level, and pleads with them to be released from imprisonment. As a side note to the DM, in this library you can have the player characters find a map leading to the next planned adventure, along with books providing them with the necessary lore and background information. A stream rumbles down a great chasm in cavern number 38. From this 120-foot or 36 meters deep chasm, the last level, the Black Lake, can be reached. The Black Lake is now the domain of Nightscale, a young female black dragon. Cavern number 50 is where the chasm and the cascading waters from the foundry level end up. Nightscale is dozing on top of her hoard on an islet labeled number 53 on the displayed map in the middle of this subterranean lake. Included within the hoard is the 4th Durjadin forged weapon that can be found, a +2 Dwarven war axe. If the player characters are making noise or are carrying light, Nightscale will wake up and stealthily submerge into the waters. She will then wait for the most opportune time to attack. If the Dungeon Master has future adventures planned and ready to run, as a DM, I would make Nightscale too powerful for the player characters. At the same time, I would give them a chance to escape so that they can adventure in these other planned areas, get stronger, and then return to face Nightscale again. Initially, this will frustrate your players, but at the same time, it will give your campaign a more realistic feel to it. The only monster that makes its debut in this adventure is the subterranean lizard.
Roll credits?
Displayed are the credits found within the adventure itself. Here is an idea for a mini-quest for this adventure. The subterranean city where the Duergar are from is under increased threat from a Drow or a Mind Flayer city. This is why the Duergar are at Kondrukar, to forge weapons to counter the threat. This way, instead of making the Duergar hostile encounters, it could instead be role-playing encounters. The player characters and the Duergar can discuss the threat. The Duergar will ask the player characters to cause trouble to the Drow or mind flayers from above. They will be told of and asked to attack a near to the surface subterranean outpost that is located 2 days' journey from Stonetooth. This idea, which I hope you like, came to me as I was thinking how to expand the adventure into the Underdark. The Forge of Fury adventure does not plant any seeds for the next adventure in the series, called The Speaker in Dreams. I will present a couple of ideas on how to link the two adventures together. Dealing with the orcs at Kondrukar will end the raider threat, and the townsfolk of Blassingdale will treat the player characters as heroes. Brindenford, the town in which The Speaker in Dreams takes place in, is famous for its annual street fairs. Have an NPC from Blassingdale, or the NPC's whole family, hire the player characters to safely escort them to Brindenford. Or have the player characters hired to do a fetch or delivery quest to Brindenford. The Forge of Fury adventure received good ratings on both DriveThruRPGs and Amazon's websites, averaging a 4.4 out of 5 stars between the both of them. There were a few customer comments. I will partially read only one of them. The PCs went in looking to hack and slash their way through the adventure. They learned quickly that would not work. A stealthy approach did work, and they made their way through with fewer problems. This adventure works best if your players aren't always the frontal assault type players, especially since the game includes a couple of monsters that are more powerful than the group is ready for experience-wise. Smart players will know they're in over their heads. This is a good game to make players think tactily. There were a few comments that compared this adventure with the previous The Sunless Citadel adventure, basically stating how much better The Sunless Citadel was. Personally, I do not think it was that bad in comparison. The fact that I'm making this long video discussing it attests to the fact that I think it is a very good D&D adventure. Thank you for watching. Hope this video has been informative and entertaining.
Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. I do like feedback, and I try to respond to as many comments as I can.
Till next time, this is RPGmodsFan saying cheers, have a good day, and goodbye.
Everything was bathed in light, easy thinking, easy ride. Now you couldn't give a damn. Good old times that wouldn't last. Driving shadows of the past at the bottom of my class. As for me, I have no doubt. Party's over, lights out. Lights out. Lights out. As I'm drinking, I can't help thinking about the times you didn't let me die.